Hi everyone, welcome to Module 2. We are now finished with the research proposal, and I realized that was a major assignment, and thank you for your hard work up to this point. Let me explain what's going on for Module 2. We are writing a set of instructions for the application that you talked about with the research proposal. So to give you a broad overview of the semester, essentially the whole semester focuses on this one tool, this one application that you're looking at, whether it's Evernote or Google Plus or Twitter or Wunderlist or whatever it might be. The whole semester focuses on that one application, and now all of the projects that we do sort of revolve around that application and explaining how to use it. So the research proposal really framed the foundation for why we should even be looking at this application. So for example, if you're talking about something like Google Plus or Twitter or some sort of social media tool, then you would have wanted to explain in the research why this would be such a beneficial tool for students. And the answer is, well, it could be collaborative, or it could help people feel like there's more of a social presence in an online class or something like that. So now it's time to shift gears and start explaining how to use the actual application that you've chosen. So for Module 2, the set of instructions looks something like this. This is the student model here. So let's take a look. I'm going to skip down to the instruction part. It's essentially just a detailed outline of how to use the application. But first, you need to identify the major features of the application that you want to explain. So this person was using Pinterest, and the major tasks that she chose was first, create an account, how to create the account. The second major feature would be how to explore and how to pin on Pinterest, and then how to follow other users, and lastly, or I guess how to comment on a pin, and then lastly how to update profile settings. So those are the major tasks that she determined were worthwhile. You'll need to do the same thing for your application. So what are the major tasks that you want to include? Let's take something like Facebook, which everyone's probably familiar with. The major tasks for Facebook will be something along the lines of creating an account, how to update your status, how to upload photos and videos, how to find and follow friends, how to use Facebook chat or turn off Facebook chat, right? So those are the major features that you would want to include. I would say find 4 to 5 major tasks, major features of your application, and include instructions for those. You'll also notice that then below each task, she goes into more detail, and like I said, it's a detailed outline, and you're just essentially walking through using the program. So as a rule of thumb, you might want to think of creating these instructions for like your 90-year-old grandmother, right? Because we all are probably very technologically adept in terms of, well, we probably know how to create an account, but we still have to go through those steps because the 90-year-old grandmother would have no idea. So that would be the sort of test for how well the instructions are written. Could you give these instructions to a 90-year-old person who's never used a computer and have them able to do it? You'll also notice different parts in here. There's an audience analysis, and at the end, there's a troubleshooting guide. So let's go back and take a look at the assignment guidelines here to give you more specifics. The assignment guidelines are listed in the module. The 3 parts of your set of instructions project are included here, which I just kind of mentioned. And that's the audience analysis, the actual instructions, and then a troubleshooting guide. And again, use the student model to mimic the format for that, for your document. So you want it to look pretty much just like what she had. And that includes, let's go back to the model, that includes this initial title page. And the title page needs to look just like this. This is the header for an APA format document. And this is the middle part. Your name would go in the middle there. Notice that it's all single spaced. The headings, these are called level 1 headings, are bold, centered. They're all words are capitalized in the heading. And so that's what I mean by APA format. So see the student example. The audience analysis is talked about in chapter 5 of your textbook, in the technical communication textbook. What I want you to do is there are 6 different factors. Dedicate 1 paragraph to each of those 6 factors. So again, one of the factors is talking about the group's education level. So here's a paragraph talking about the intended user's education level. So try and do it that way so it's easier to read. Writing the instructions. The important thing for writing the instructions, and this is on page 565, is that you do not want to have feedback statements. So a feedback statement would be something, it's a statement that doesn't give an action. So for example, a statement that said something like, you should now see a red box. That's not actually telling the user to do anything. It's just a feedback statement. It's telling them what they should see or what they should look at or something like that. It's not giving them an action. So make sure that each of the steps actually is doing action. So choose a username, choose items, click this, type this, install the bookmark, click this. So it's very much sort of action verb oriented. And last, a troubleshooting guide. These are the possible problems that you can anticipate the user having with the application. A lot of applications will have something like this, and it might be called like the FAQ section, the frequently asked questions or something like that. But you can see here a couple of the general problems are things like this. A major one, I forgot my password, right? What are you supposed to do? These are other major problems. For this troubleshooting guide, I would just do maybe 3 or 4 of the general problems that people might have with your program. And here's the final rubric for the grade. Notice that several of you took advantage of this on the research proposal, but notice that you do get an additional 5 points for scheduling and attending a writing center appointment. And if you choose to do this, just make sure that you try and schedule an appointment, and I would definitely bring in the student model and and these assignment guidelines so that they know what kind of advice to give you. That's much more helpful for them rather than you just coming in saying, I need to write a set of instructions, because they won't know what that means. But you do get an additional 5 points. So that means if your final grade was an 87, now it's a 92 if you went to the writing center. So it could be the difference between a letter grade. Those are the instructions. Those are the guidelines. And as usual, and this is how pretty much all of the assignments work, when you're finished with the document, PDF please, you'll submit it in the discussion forum and then review others, and that's how the peer review process works. I hope that it was somewhat beneficial for you to do it that way. One note on the discussion forum and the peer review process and everything. First, make sure that you are actually downloading the person's file and commenting on the file and then re-uploading it in that thread. That's how you get your points. Also, you want to make sure that you're giving the author usable feedback. So praise is okay. I mean, it's nice to hear someone say, great job, this looks wonderful, this is a really good thing. That's great, but it doesn't really help the person improve the paper. So use that as a guide. Just make sure whatever you're saying or commenting on the person's paper, it should be giving them a direction. It should be saying, hey, this is good, but you might want to look at the chapter on APA format because these references aren't in the correct format, or drawing their attention to do something to their paper. That's what's going to get you the full points for your peer reviews. Also, make sure that everyone has their papers reviewed. So, just as a sort of, I don't know, a social contract with your classmates, it's a sort of pay it forward thing, which is I'm going to do this for you, and then maybe in the future you're going to do one for me, or we're going to have a little bit of a partnership here, or a sort of social contract with everyone in the class saying, look, we're all here to help each other out, so let's all make sure that everybody gets a peer review and that it's all good information. So you're sort of in that together. I think that's pretty much it. You've got a couple of quizzes for this module to take care of, and continue the activity on Google+. It's been really good so far. I think I've seen some really good discussions. Just remember, I am watching it. I am taking a look at it. I'm not always contributing to it because I really want it to be student-led. Last thing, course calendar. Let's take a look at this, and we'll see that today is Sunday, September 8th, but you've got a week to do the set of instructions first draft. So we kind of move into pretty much a 2-week module from here on out. I think the usability module has 3 weeks in it, but for the most part, we're in about a 2-week cycle here, so it does move rather quickly. If you have questions specific to what you're doing or specific concerns with you, then email me definitely. Otherwise, you can toss some things out on Google Plus and have people answer them that way, or sometimes I'll answer it over there. But if you want a direct answer from me as soon as possible, then the best thing is to email me directly. So thank you all so much for your time and for all of your hard work. And let's get this Module 2 underway. Talk to you soon.